Leave me alone. Why do you keep following me? It's honestly so creepy, and I'm gonna call the cops.
Man.
A number of years back, a video was circulated and went mildly viral of a woman approaching two men in a truck. Now, before she arrived at their window, she was already berating them and accusing them of stalking and harassing her. She is frantically looking at her phone and claiming to be calling the cops, all while the men continue to try to interrupt her. Now, she claims it's men like you that make women feel uncomfortable and cannot leave their house. The men continue to point at her car until finally, during a pause, they were able to tell her to look at her car. And that is when she realized that something was hanging from it. Upon a quick glance at her car, she realized her most recent trip to the gas station ended more abruptly than it should have, and the gas nozzle was still hanging from her car, along with about 8 to 10 feet of gas tubing that was dragging on the ground. Now, the woman immediately walked away from the men's truck as they kind of began to chuckle. One even mutters that she did not even say thank you. Now, at that exact same moment, the woman yells a very curt "thank you" while slinging the gas nozzle into her car and then driving away, with her gas tank lid still open. This interaction is just one of dozens of examples that I've witnessed over social media in the recent years. Now, with the rather obvious degradation of our society comes an absence of civility and manners. Other videos have shown people who were cussed out by the individuals that they were simply trying to help. Hey guys, welcome to Godly Guy Stuff, a group for guys here to connect and collaborate on how we as men can have a stronger impact on our lives and the lives of those who depend on us. Now, if you are a guy who struggles through life, like me, wondering how to create godly paths and maybe offering up gratitude when it's deserved, make sure that you subscribe to be part of a place that produces content for an iron sharpens iron environment. Gratitude is a byproduct of society. You can't have it without a common understanding between two individuals as they share a moment in time, with one humbling themselves in such a way as to present thanks to the other. I do not believe it's a learned component, but something that's actually built internally within, honestly, not just humans, but every creature. You can pet a dog and he will lick your hand, or you can pet a cat and she will bite your hand. Cats are jerks, but you get my point. Showing thankfulness is not something we have to teach a person or even a generation. Yet I do believe it is something that can be untaught or removed from an individual. In the past 40 years, we have witnessed, of course, a downward spiral within our culture for critical communication pieces. Not just in the public square, but within the walls of churches and even our small groups. Thank you for being a friend. Andrew Gold was a singer, songwriter, producer who was the son of the composer Ernest Gold and his first wife and singer Mariana Nixon. Now, he was a popular studio musician in the early 70s when he played guitar and sang on many of Linda Ronstadt's recordings. Now, after a spell in a folk rock band called Brindle, he released his first solo album in 1975. His breakout hit came in 1977 with Lonely Boy, which hit number 7 in the US. Yet for most people, Gold made his mark in a more unknown method as being the creator of Thank You for Being a Friend, which became the now well-known theme song to the 1980s television hit, The Golden Girls. Now, Gold wrote that this song was sort of a dedication to his musical partner, Brock Walsh, and to his manager, Norman Epstein. Honestly, I didn't know the history of this song, but when I heard Gold's original rendition of the song, it really clicked in a different way than, honestly, ever before. No longer was I thinking old geriatric women, but I was almost shocked to think that one man would write such a song to a friend as a gesture of gratitude. Wow! Also, there were some humorous aspects to the lyrics that never made it to the Golden Girls theme songs, albeit they seem very fitting. And the song does take a dive into the typical 1970s creative mindset. I'll let you watch the video to see what I mean. But Gold's rendition of the song is linked in the description. It's well worth a listen. Now, I wish I could say modern society had embraced Gold's song. Instead, in today's 21st century environment, a song of this nature honestly would never make it to the public digital square. With the exclusion of male masculinity in its entirety, the inherent bond between two friends was ironically eliminated slowly over time during the 1980s and 90s by this very song. With its usage focused towards old retired women, the origin of this song's story was quickly lost to time, along with its true meaning: one man who was showing gratitude to his friend. This concept was rapidly removed in the 1980s with solemn imagery of the Marlboro Man and television shows such as Cheers with Sam Malone, a single bachelor. He was aging yet still unfettered by family and friends. Now, this segmentation of the men, honestly, it started long before the 1970s, and in reality, Gold Song is more of an unusual blip in the time stream than a sudden change for the masculine guy. Sincerity and genuineness were casualties towards this method of thinking, and today we have a generation of young males who have now been raised with a lack of self-awareness, with no structure or even a remote capability of serving in a man's role for today's world. The joke was that the world would be perfect without men. Well, how is this working out for the world? I believe most of us are very well of those statistics. Gratitude in today's Christian man. I think I need to take a moment and address the elephant in the room. Men of the 21st century are not meant to be sensitive, right? Godly men of the 21st century are mostly conform to the same scenario. So I do understand that we are discussing an action which is generally not portrayed in public. Yet, is this the right approach? Is this the way godly men are supposed to communicate with one another? Or are we given a free pass from this concept? Well, let's look at the great simplifier and see what answers await us. Let's begin with Psalms 133 verse 1. How wonderful and pleasant it is when brothers live together in harmony. Okay, that's not so bad. I mean, we can easily hang out and enjoy fellowship. That doesn't mean I have to show any sort of thankfulness to another dude, right? Well, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 11. So encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing. Well, that's more to the point. It appears that this is a command that is already in the process of occurring and not something requested to begin. But what about Romans chapter 12 verse 10? Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. It appears the jury has returned, and yes, we are to show not just gratitude to one another, but affection. And just so we are completely clear on this, let's look at one more piece of scripture, 1 Peter chapter 4 verses 8 through 10. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for each other, for love covers a multitude of sins. Cheerfully share your home with those who need a meal or place to stay. God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. Use them well to serve one another. Game, set, match. There really isn't much more to be said. We as godly men have an obligation to raise one another up in gratitude and beyond. So if you have not figured it out yet, the challenge for this week is an easy one to spell out, but probably one of the most awkward for us as 21st century godly men to accomplish. Show gratitude to another godly man. I will make it easy for you, okay? I will provide the materials for you to send. Maybe in an email or a text. Just copy this and say this. Hey man, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for being you. I know it's not something common in our society to do, but from one godly guy to another, I want to say I appreciate our friendship. Here is a link to the original version of a very well-known song called Thank You for Being a Friend. The original artist, Andrew Gold, made the song for some solid friends he had back in the day. And as the lyrics say, I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it's always will stay this way. My hat is off. Won't you stand up and take a bow? Just know I appreciate you. Take care. These words have been placed in the description along with the link to the video. Just copy and hit send today. Wrap up. You know, I really see this as a softball topic. In that I mean, this really is an easy one to accomplish. It takes very little effort and can be accomplished in seconds. We all know of 1 or 2 men who could probably use a little bit of encouragement. And all the material is set up. All you have to do, well, is send it, do it. But due to a massive overbearing and bullying culture, we never are allowed to show a softness of who we are as men or are meant to be. Because we never can be afforded the freedom to display something other than gruffness and mean-spirited attitudes. Opportunities to turn someone's day around can come and go, and we lose a chance to see the love of Christ. Please, don't miss this one. It is too simple. It's too important. Begin to take the steps today to show simple gratitude. And let me know how it goes. Now it's your turn. What did I miss today? Am I way off on this one? Should we never concede room for emotion other than a punch in the arm or a slap on the back? I mean, is it wrong in today's society to actually show emotion on a godly guy dad stuff aspect? What about our sons? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you haven't guessed it yet, yes, I'm reaching out to the godly guy stuff community and saying, hey, thank you for being you. I know it's not something common in our society to do, but from one godly guy to yet another, I want to say I appreciate this group and the friendships that have come from it. Just know I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for listening throughout the entire video. And please, definitely follow me or subscribe to the Godly Guy Stuff group on Gab. Now, Gab is the launching headquarters for the content that is produced for Godly Guy Stuff. So if you're watching this on some other platform like YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, you're probably missing a lot more content. There's also a Godly Guy Stuff Locals community where I like to post content for upcoming videos or behind the scenes or sneak peeks or additional videos about progress, what's happening, maybe even a deeper personal connections with others. And of course, future casting for upcoming ideas. So if you want to see what I'm currently working on, well, you go to Gab. For upcoming topics, head on over to Locals. Links are in the descriptions, and I look forward to having the conversation continue. Thanks.